The ship drifted slowly through the endless dark of space, a streak of silver against an ocean of stars. Its name was Prosperity's Dawn, a proud vessel belonging to the Vatharan people, merchants of the void, wanderers who had crossed 1,000 worlds trading metals, crystals, and dreams. For centuries, their routes had been safe, their journeys uneventful. But this one would be different. Captain Thexerol stood before the ship's glowing navigation map, its light painting strange patterns across his scaled face. The holographic projection filled the room, dozens of shimmering lines crisscrossing between systems like a web spun by ancient gods. His sharp, multifaceted eyes focused on one particular path, highlighted in a bold, pulsing red. That red line hadn't been there 3 days ago. A low clicking noise escaped his mouthparts, a sound that in his species could mean confusion, irritation, or both. "I don't understand this," he said finally, his mandibles twitching. "We've used this trade route for 3 full cycles. It saves us 2 entire weeks of travel time. Why is it suddenly restricted?" First Officer Kresna stepped closer. Her tall frame moved with precise, measured grace, the kind of poise only decades in deep space could teach. She was calm, methodical, respected by all. But even she frowned when she looked at the red line. "The message from the Galactic Council is unusually brief," she said. "Only 2 words. Human space. After that, a single command. Do not enter. Nothing else." Thexerol made another clicking sound, this one sharper, almost mocking. "Humans," he muttered, his tone thick with disbelief. "Those fragile bipeds who only learned interstellar travel 50 cycles ago? What could they possibly do to us?" Laughter rippled softly among the bridge crew, dry, chittering sounds like distant wind over glass. Everyone in the galaxy had heard of humans. They were new to the stars, newcomers trying to play the part of a galactic species, primitive, unrefined, weak, a curiosity perhaps, but nothing more. Their technology was outdated, their fleets small, their politics messy. Most saw them as a novelty species, talkative, emotional, unthreatening. "We will take the short route," Thexerol said decisively. "We'll pass through this so-called human space, save our 2 weeks, and be home before anyone even realizes we were there." No one dared argue. Orders were given. Coordinates entered. The Prosperity's Dawn turned slowly, its engines humming as it adjusted course. Ahead, the invisible boundary of human space awaited, an unseen line drawn by a young species daring to call a piece of the galaxy its own. When they crossed it, nothing happened. Space was the same, quiet, infinite, indifferent. The stars burned with the same cold fire. Kresna looked around the bridge, her shoulders relaxing slightly. "See?" Thexerol said, a faint smile curling his mouth parts. Empty threats, but 47 minutes later, the void screamed. Alarms exploded across the ship, red lights flaring violently. The hum of calm space turned into a roar of panic. Consoles flickered. Crew members shouted over each other, antennae twitching in alarm. Multiple contacts. Kresna's voice cut through the chaos. They appeared out of nowhere. 17 vessels surrounding us. Thexerol's eyes widened as he stared at the tactical display. 17 human ships formed a perfect sphere around the Prosperity's Dawn. Their formation was flawless, mathematically precise, like a trap closing on prey. Each vessel was angular, deadly-looking, covered in unfamiliar weapons that glowed faintly along their edges. No ornamentation, no wasted design. These were machines built for war, and nothing else. Thexerol's claws tightened on the console. What kind of ships are these?" he whispered. A voice cut through the static of the comms system. Cold, controlled, human. "This is Captain Ju of the United Human Space Vessel Retribution," the voice said. "You have violated human space. Power down your engines and prepare to be boarded." Thexerol forced out a laugh, though it sounded hollow even to him. "Captain Ju," he said, trying to sound amused, "surely this is a misunderstanding. We were unaware of your, new boundaries. We meant no offense. You have 15 seconds to comply," Captain Ju replied flatly. Thexerol froze. "What? Wait, surely we can. 14, 13. The numbers came like hammer blows. Kresna turned to her captain, fear creeping into her usually calm expression. "Sir, what should we do?" 10, said the human voice. "Captain," the weapons officer interrupted, his voice shaking. "Their targeting systems are locked on. OS engines, life support, bridge. Perfect targeting, sir. I've never seen anything like this." 5, said Ju. Thexerol's composure finally broke. "Power down everything!" he screamed. "Do it now!" The lights dimmed. The engines died. The Prosperity's dawn drifted in silence. Through the front viewport, the crew watched as small pods detached from the nearest human ships. They moved with eerie precision, fast, straight, synchronized. The pods attached to the hull, and seconds later came the sound of cutting metal. Then, footsteps, heavy, deliberate, echoing through the corridors. The bridge door exploded open. Human soldiers entered, tall, armored, silent. Their armor was scarred, burned, marked by countless battles. They moved like predators, every step measured, every glance assessing, and their eyes, cold, human eyes, carried something that made Thexerol's blood freeze. No mercy, no doubt, no hesitation. The lead soldier raised his weapon. On your knees, hands behind your heads. No one resisted. The crew dropped to the floor, trembling. As they were bound and taken away, Thexerol finally understood. The red line, the warning, the silence of the Galactic Council. The humans were not weak. They were not primitive. They were something else entirely. Something that learned strength the hard way. Something that the galaxy had underestimated for far too long. 3 days later, the galaxy was buzzing with rumors. The news of a Vytheran trade ship captured in human space spread faster than light. Anger and disbelief rippled through the halls of the Galactic Council. In the Great Chamber, a vast dome of light and sound, representatives of every major civilization gathered. Voices rose like storms, demanding answers. Ambassador Keelthus of the Krathian Empire stood, his stone-like skin gleaming under the chamber lights. "The humans have gone too far," he thundered. "They have detained a Vytheran ship for 3 days. They are children of the stars, and yet they act like tyrants. They must learn their place." Many agreed, pounding the air with gestures of outrage. To most of the council, humans were still newcomers. Barely a century into interstellar membership, they had small fleets, limited worlds, and little political influence. Their sudden assertiveness seemed absurd. Then the human representative rose. Ambassador Tamon of Earth was a man of quiet authority. Unlike the others, who wore flowing robes, he wore a dark blue military uniform under his diplomatic mantle. A strange choice, one many saw as crude. But when he spoke, the room fell silent. "The Vytheran ship crossed into our territory," Tamon said. "They were warned. They ignored that warning. They are being held in accordance with our laws." "Your laws," Keelthas sneered. "You are infants in this galaxy, Tamon. You have no right to dictate laws that bind your betters." Tamon's expression didn't change. "Every civilization here defends its borders. Every one of you enforces laws in your territory. We are no different. We protect our space." A soft, harmonious voice spoke next, a Zelkarian representative. "Surely, Ambassador, you could have warned them and released them. Must you be so severe?" Tamon paused, then spoke softly. "We learned a lesson long ago, a lesson written in fire and blood. We learned that mercy without strength is meaningless, that warnings without consequences are just words, and that peace means nothing if no one fears the cost of breaking it." A hush fell. Even Keelthas hesitated. Tamon gestured, and a holographic display appeared. Images from human history. Cities burning, soldiers fighting, flags rising and falling. The horror of their past laid bare for all to see. "This," he said quietly, "is what made us who we are. We know what beings are capable of doing to each other. We have seen it, lived it. We learned that peace is not the absence of conflict. It is the presence of power, strong enough to enforce it." He turned toward the Krathian ambassador. "You say we are children. You, who have lived in peace for 10,000 years, have forgotten what it means to fight for survival. We have not. Every ship we build, every weapon we design, every border we mark, reminds us that peace must be defended." Silence. No one spoke, not even Keelthas. Finally, the Zelkarian asked, "What will happen to the Vytheran crew?" "They will face trial," Tamon replied. "Their cargo will be seized. Their captain will serve time. When they return home, they will carry a simple message." He looked around the chamber. No one crosses human space. Not now. Not ever. 3 months passed. The Krathian Empire, old and proud, could not let it go. Their rulers saw human defiance as an insult, a challenge. So they made a decision to teach humanity respect. A fleet of 20 Krathian warships, led by Admiral Vexthor, was dispatched. Their orders were simple: cross human space, and proved that the Empire feared no one. As they approached the border, Vexthor's officers were confident. "They won't attack," said one. "Stopping a merchant ship is one thing, but a Krathian fleet? They wouldn't dare." The fleet crossed the line at 0600 Galactic Standard. 1 minute later, alarms screamed. "Contacts!" the sensor officer shouted. "Hundreds of them!" Vexthor stared in disbelief. Red icons flooded his tactical display, hundreds of human ships surrounding them in a perfect wall of steel and silence. Behind that wall loomed something colossal, a fortress the size of a moon, bristling with weapons beyond comprehension. Then, a face appeared on the main screen, a woman with silver hair and scarred features. "Admiral Hidgen, United Human Space Forces," she said coldly. "You have 30 seconds to leave human space, or we will disable your fleet." Vexthor tried to maintain his dignity. "Admiral? Surely this can be." 20 seconds, she interrupted. "The Krathian Empire will not be intimidated." 10 seconds. "Admiral, your ships have been targeted for 40 minutes, Hijin said, her voice steady as stone. 17 lock solutions per vessel. Leave now, or drift home in silence. Her calmness terrified him more than any threat could. "Turn around!" Vexthor shouted. "All ships, retreat!" The Krathian fleet fled. The humans did not pursue. They simply held position, silent, immovable, ready. By evening, the Krathian Empire officially recognized human borders. Within a week, every major power did the same, because the truth was undeniable. The humans weren't bluffing. They were ready. They had always been ready.